Welcome to Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel, a podcast for momagers. The perfect platform for moms with the desire to raise superstar children without losing themselves. We cover all things parenting, self-care, and of course, business. The only place on the web where you can come to get the confidence, the knowledge, and the tools you need to raise your young mogul. Here's your host, Tamara Zantel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to take 2 of Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel. I am so excited once again to be here with you. Let's see if I can get this together. So I am Tamara Zantel, CEO and founder of Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel. I help parents that are parenting superstars, kids with drive, parents that want their kids to live larger than life, be change makers, gain the confidence, the knowledge, and the tools they need to support their children and raise phenomenal children, raise phenomenal young moguls, right? So that's Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel. And I come to you live every Tuesday, sometimes more, with phenomenal moms that are also raising powerful young moguls that are going to be change makers and make a real difference in this world. So I want to bring these women to you every week because nobody else is doing it. A lot of times, I'm speaking from experience, when we are raising amazing kids, the kids are always in the forefront, right? Because that's what we do as moms. We push our kids forward, we highlight them, we help them grow, we support them. They're always in the limelight, right? Especially if they're young moguls. So this platform, Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel, was created for moms like me, moms that struggled through the process at times, moms that needed a little support, mothers that needed to connect with other mothers that were doing amazing things for their children. And they might have just, might just need a little help pushing it along, right? So this platform was created for the mom that needs that little help, that wants that connection, that wants to build and raise phenomenal children, but doesn't really necessarily want to do it all in the dark blindly, right? When I started along the journey with my young mogul, Zandra, she started her brand when she was 9 years old. Now she just recently turned 17. And I tell you, it was not easy. She has a natural skincare line. And that journey, I struggled. I struggled 5-6 years ago trying to figure out how to get things right, how to get her exposure, how to support her on her journey, what to do, what not to do, who to connect with, who not to connect with. It was a journey. And once again, I use that word, it was a struggle. If I had a connection, if I had a Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel, it might have made the experience a little bit easier so I can connect with other moms that were also trying to do amazing things. Moms like the 2 guests I have for you this evening, Dr. Jasmine Zapata and Lisa D. Adams. I want to take a moment and introduce you to both of these phenomenal women that are going to share the next few, maybe about, we'll probably be together for at least another 30 minutes. And we're going to talk to you about what it's like to raise amazing children. So, okay, so Lisa Adams is she's a CEO, a mother of a young mogul. She's also a grandmother. She's the author. She's also an author. Oh, that's the other thing, everyone. We're going to be talking about books. There are a lot of books, right? So get ready, right? Because you're going to learn about these amazing authors that we have on the show tonight. So Lisa, she loves working with youth, especially teen moms, right? Because it allows her to look within herself. And by doing this, she builds the communication and trust with these teenagers, right? With our youth. And how important is that? Lisa understands that her actions have to speak louder than her voice, and that these young ladies can overcome obstacles and embrace their success. That's what she's helping them do, embrace their success. I cannot wait to learn more. So I want to welcome you, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful opportunity to be on a platform with beautiful people and outstanding moms pushing their children to be above average. We don't have average children. We have some powerful children that are game changers, making a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that brings me to Dr. Jasmine Zapata. She is a dynamic author as well, a physician, an inspirational speaker, and a health empowerment educator. And she is on a mission to heal, uplift, and inspire. Welcome, Dr. Jasmine.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to be here, and thanks for all you do. You're doing some amazing work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I'm so excited to hang out with both of you ladies, even if just for a little while. So if those of you are watching, I want to welcome you and to the Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel show. Feel free to ask questions, share your thoughts, your ideas. If you have any questions from either one, either Lisa or Dr. Jasmine, please just drop them in the comments. And if either they can see them or I'll be able to see them, and we'll make sure that we respond to anything that you ask, right? Because we're here to support. That's what this is all about. And if you're joining us back again, yes, this is the second time you're seeing us. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're rocking and rolling right, ladies. Okay, let's see. We don't have any comments yet, but we're doing wonderful, ladies. I appreciate this. So also, you'll notice that Dr. Jasmine and Lisa are both, they're not appearing on camera at this time because, once again, a little technical difficulties. But as great moms do, we just keep on pushing, right? So we're just going to make this happen, okay? So let's jump on in. Remember, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So Dr. Jasmine, how you doing?
Good.
Wonderful. So I understand by reading a little bit and doing some research on you that you actually have a pretty amazing story when it comes to resilience. Would you mind sharing that with us a little bit?
Yes, I have a lot of different things that I've gone through, but especially when it comes to raising children, the story of resilience deals with me, but also my daughter as well. So when I was in medical school, I was in class actually, and I went into labor suddenly. I was due on January 2nd, and I went in labor on September 20th when I was only 25 weeks pregnant, still in my second trimester.
Oh my goodness.
And so basically, long story short, within 2 hours of it starting, I delivered her. And she was my daughter's name is Amira. She was 1.5 pounds, had to go on life support over the 2 brain surgeries. She was septic, meaning she had so much bacteria in her blood that they had to give her medicine just to keep her blood pressure high enough to live. It was so scary, but she was able to make it out of the situation and was able to come home 3 months later. So that was just by me not dropping out of medical school, losing my mind alone, just making it through that situation. It developed resilience within me, but also now she's 6 years old. And I always tell her that story, and just looking at all that she had to go through to get to the point she's now, we really stress the theme of resilience. And I just tell her use that story to remind her of how strong she really is.
Wow, that is amazing. Wait, I'm still stuck on came home 3 months later. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Skipped over that whole part. That's amazing. Not only for her as a young fighter, but for you, and to be in the midst of medical school and this, wow, that's a miracle.
Yes, she is a miracle.
Yeah, that whole situation is a miracle, and she is absolutely a miracle.
Right.
Wow.
She was just a couple weeks away from being a miscarriage, but she was just big enough for them to keep alive with technology and in the ICU. So she really, really was a miracle.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's amazing. So let me ask you this. How did that experience in your story of such amazing resilience, how does that play into the work that you do now in the world of girls empowerment?
Yes, it has so much to do with that. So as I mentioned, I was in medical school when that happened, and man, I really wanted to give up at the time. It was just my whole world was kind of falling apart, especially because just 3 years prior, my little younger brother, who was only 16, he died suddenly in his sleep when I was in college getting ready to apply for medical school. So my family was still just healing from the loss of my brother. So when my daughter was born, so severely ill, it was just so scary for us because we were still so vulnerable. But that between the experience of my brother and then the experience with her being in the NICU, once I finally had that shift in my mind, like, no, I can't give up. I am going to keep going because I know every experience in life, no matter how hard, is working together for your ultimate purpose. I decided to stay in school, and it shaped me to go into the field of pediatrics. So after I was in pediatrics, I just noticed that there were so many young girls that would come into clinic and have issues with their health, but it was related to stuff that was happening outside of the clinic walls that didn't even have to do anything with any medicines or things like adverse childhood experiences, different issues with school and bullying or family issues, poverty, mental health issues. And I was able to use that to start my girls empowerment work, basically saying the theme is Beyond Beautiful. And it talks about you are more than just your outside of what you look like. You have powerful things on the inside that can help you achieve anything in life. And I'll tell you more about that later, but that's kind of how it all flowed together and started.
I love it. I love it. That's a beautiful mission. And I know I'm sure that you're touching many girls' lives. That's an amazing story. And the thing that comes to mind when I'm listening to you talk is, like you said, about resilience, and not only did you have all these different things take place in your life, but the ability to just keep going. I just think about how many people in those moments could have just like lost their mind or, and just not been able to keep going, or would have just dropped out of school and like, oh, just forget it. It's not for me. It's not meant to be because it's too hard. And then to push forward and to do all that you're doing with a young daughter, that is such a miracle. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. So Lisa.
Hi there.
So listen, I was reading, let me tell you all, I was reading Lisa's information, and one of the main things that jumped off the paper for me was this idea or this philosophy around being a parent versus being a friend. Like, and I know you have an opinion on that, and I'm wondering, is there a situation where you could possibly be both? Or do we have to pick one?
Well, I believe that you can be both, but for the most part, I'm a parent first.
Right.
I'm a parent first. Everything else is secondary. So I am one. We got rules. We have regulation, and if they're not followed, there are consequences. So,
right. We make it clear.
Yes, we make it clear. But in that same token, I enjoy being a parent. I have fun with my children and my grandkids. I enjoy it all. I mean, we sit up, we play games, but when it's time for me to be mom, ain't no games and there's no misunderstanding.
Right. I love it. I love that. It makes complete sense. So what do you have to say to moms, a mom that could be listening that might be struggling with the idea of, especially nowadays, where some of the moms tend to be a little bit younger, some people are deciding to have children earlier. So you're stuck in that way where you're still trying to get it together yourself. And then now you have these little people whose lives depend on you. What would you say to those moms that sometimes it's just easier to be the friend. It's just easier,
Well, I want those moms to look at what we're going through in today's society. And how can you, with the person you have in your possession, what can you instill in this person that will cause this person to be greater? I want my children's lives to be greater than the life that I had. So that means I'm going to have to sacrifice. Right. I'm going to have to do some things. And then I also have to go back to my upbringing. My children were not allowed to spend the night at other people's house because I was not allowed. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give y'all something really funny. My daughter will be 18. My daughter will be 18 in a couple of days. I promise y'all, she just took the bus by herself Monday.
Really?
I kid you not. She's been a fire baby, all of that, but I just couldn't get to her. but I'm a hands-on parent. So what I would say to these parents, don't worry about your age. Think about the lives that you are in charge of. What do you want from them? We don't want our children. It's never a goal for your child to be a gangbanger. It's not a goal for your child to wear sagging pants. What type of goals? I like to write things down. So
yes.
I get on my kids' nerve because we'll do a vision board in a heartbeat.
I love it. Write it down. Make it plain.
Ain't that what the Bible said? Write it down. Write the vision.
Right.
What are we going to do? What are your goals? How are we going to accomplish this? And I got their back. I'm going to support them 100%. But sometimes they don't want my support because they're not even willing.
Right.
I mean, that's just the truth. My 17-year-old, she has all sorts of talent. I think she started out when she was probably about 5 or 6, and she was going to different churches singing.
Wow.
She cannot stand to sing now. That's a beautiful.
So she's transitioned
but she does not like to sing. And it's more, she doesn't sing, but she's an artist. And she came into her own. And, sometimes we have to allow them to do so. So she used to take little shirts and stuff, cut them up, sew them up, hand sew them for her dolls. And she took that and went on to being an artist, a real artist, where she's selling her art now.
Wow.
And so she's broken some barriers, whereas she was able to have art in, it's a league up here, it's called Union League. At one time, they didn't allow Black people there. And then after Blacks were allowed, they did not allow women there. And a couple of years ago, she had art there that sold for full price. So that was an awesome opportunity for her, but I had to keep her motivated.
Right.
I have to keep her motivated. And to her, she's just doing what she likes to do. To me, I'm all over the place. I'm excited. Come on, girl. We got to do this. We have to do that. And I'm nerve-wracking.
I love it.
I'm nerve-wracking to her because I'm always with a business plan. How can we do this? How can we do that? And so what I just say to these young moms, don't give up. Don't give up. Know what you want for your child, even though they're going to go into their own, instill the love, the discipline. Discipline and abuse is totally different.
Totally different. I agree completely. Totally
different. But instill the discipline. In their own, instill the love, the discipline. Yeah, we have to do that. We have to keep them on board. Hugs. I love hugs, laughter, joy. Celebrate. We celebrate the things that we do positive, and we find ways to correct the things that were still what they were supposed to do.
Right. I totally agree with that. I agree with that. And I also what resonates with me also is you saying that you get on their nerves. And I think sometimes we as moms, we can be, let's just say, a little extra forceful when we feel like we know what's right, for our children. And especially since you say your daughter is an artist. So I have some friends that are artists. I have a brother that's an artist. So I know I kind of have an understanding, I would say, of how artists operate. Yeah. And I know that they really are like, this is me, this is how I am. And a lot of times they can be introverts and they're just not interested in what the outsiders have to say, so I can imagine what that interaction could be like and how it's probably not always easy. But Lisa, one of the things I want to ask you is, so what would you say, how do you learn that? So you have all these children with these talents and you say your daughter started singing at 5 or 6, like, where does it come from for you to then want to highlight her or support her or kind of push her into her destiny? I know you talked about doing vision boards and writing down their goals. Where would you say that fierce drive to push them towards their destiny comes from?
Well, with her more so is I'm out there. As a book author, I'm out there. As a motivational speaker, I'm always out there. And so with her being younger, and see, her next sibling is 9 years older. So everywhere I go, she has to go. So she might as well put her stuff on display.
I love that. Bring them with you.
You might as well. We did the Black Women's Expo this year, and I had her to bring her stuff. She had to dress up. She had to talk about her art, and she had to sell her art to her potential customers. And this is how we do. This is a way of life. It's nothing wrong with going to work, but how about working for yourself? That's what I teach her. And so
I love that.
It may not be what she wants, but what she says to me, Mom, sometimes you think I'm not listening, but I do hear you. And that's rewarded to know that she hears me.
I love that. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That's important. So, Dr. Jasmine, I have a question. When I was also going through, reading through everything as I was preparing for tonight's interview, I felt it interesting that you mentioned that your daughter, 6 years old, is actually a part of the team. So can you tell me a little bit about how that works? First, let's talk about your team and what exactly you do with your team. But I'm interested in how you fit your daughter in there.
Yeah. So I have a lot of different things going on, but one of the initiatives that I'm doing is called the Beyond Beautiful Girls Empowerment Conference.
Okay.
And so what it is pretty amazing because it combines health education and empowerment with the music industry and the beauty industry. So I have, I've collaborated with different beauty shop owners, and then a girls recording artist singing group, a teen girls group called Trilogy. They're very, 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 very inspirational, and they do all positive music. So we hold events together where we talk about being beyond beautiful. And what that means is beyond beautiful. You are courageous, resilient, confident, creative, talented, intelligent, unique, and innovative, and some other things I'll tell you about later. But that I started these. Now we're planning. We're actually getting started going on a girls empowerment tour where we go to different churches, youth centers, different things in the community to have these workshops. So my daughter comes with me to these. She helps me plan out the events for what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about, and I share her story when I go vending to different vending events, like selling my book and different stuff like that. She helps me pass out the business cards. She helps me just little things. She's only 6, so I'm easing her into it, but it's just awesome because it allows me to be an entrepreneur, but then spend time with her as well.
Absolutely. Listen, only 6, and I'm sure she has tons of personality. We already discussed the fact that she is, a miracle. So I'm sure that she definitely has something that she brings to the table. And I think that, so I want to pause right there because you saying, well, she's only 6, but yet and still you find value in bringing her along, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Like, what in you says, I'm just, we have this thing to do. I'm building this, whatever it is, this philanthropic endeavor. I'm helping other people in the community. I have to go to work, right? But you're coming with me. Because the reason why I ask that is because a lot of parents, I noticed that they're out at functions, they're doing different things, they're making a difference in the world, but at the same time, they're leaving their kids at home, and so, and I always say that we want our kids to do amazing things. We wonder why they're not stepping up and becoming the change makers that we know that they can be, but then we're not really setting the platform for them to do that, so tell me a little bit about the thought process when you just say, you know what, she's coming with me.
Yeah, it's just even being in medical school, oh my goodness, the path to becoming a doctor, I had to sacrifice a lot of getting to spend time with them, studying, taking all these tests, working in a hospital. And so any way that I can incorporate them into what I'm doing, it's just kind of, that was kind of a part of it. But also sometimes the best way you can teach kids what I learned is through just having them right there with you, learning your learning and seeing your triumphs and your failures and just having you along the way versus just talking to them about stuff. So, and my parents actually did that for me when we had all kind of like, we tried all kind of get rich quick schemes when we were younger, all my parents' businesses and different things. I was stuffing envelopes, sending stuff, sending mailing flyers, trying to recruit. But, some of the things were successful, some of them weren't, but they are part of that process. So I just, feel that it's really important to do that. And with my son and my daughter, like when we do real estate investing too. So we'll have them like come over to when we do repairs to ask them, well, what color do you think we should paint the wall? Or what do you think we should charge for rent? And then we talk about the pros and cons of each thing. Just watching them kind of go through it the best way to teach them.
I love it. I love that. And it's hilarious, the get rich quick schemes. It's like your parents are like, listen, we're going to try this and everybody take a seat and you're going to be a part of it too. But I love the idea of we're all in this together, right? So what better way for them to learn than from us? Because we are there first.
And time flies. My son is 8 and I'm like, you're going to be 18 in 10 years. Like, I have a lot of stuff to teach you. It just really flies by. So you have to start very, very young and just start teaching them as you go.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Lisa, when we talk about teaching our children when they're young and bringing them into the fold when it comes to our endeavors, our philanthropic endeavors, our business, our networking, whatever it is that we're working on to build ourselves, our communities, or anything that we're doing personally as women and how we show up in the world. Our kids we want our kids to be a part of that. What role would you say transparency plays in that?
Oh, it's major. It's major because we don't want to give them any false pretense. Know that it's a struggle. Mm-hmm. Know that I hustle. With my older boys or younger, I've always wanted to be in business for myself. So one was probably 4 and the other one was a baby. Mm-hmm. And I sell clothes. And I didn't drive at that time. I had one on my hip. We had a baby bag crossed over. You carry this other bag, and when we get to the place, some of the workers knew us, so they'll handle the baby for me. So no, it's a struggle. It's a hustle. But we can do it. If we put our all into it, we can do it. So I find joy when I'm working on my computer now, and they'll come on, what you doing? They're interested.
I love that.
They want to see the website. And my grandson, he's all the time. Where we going now? He's interested. What we're going to do. And even I work with the youth. I'm one of the youth leaders at my church. Mm-hmm. And I teach entrepreneurship there. So I will have the youth to have their own little and they sell their own goods. And we go through a whole business plan, how much you're going to sell it for, your presentation, how you're going to introduce yourself. And I don't let them sit down. You need to stand up. You need to have some poise about yourself. Tell them why you're selling this particular item. And so we just go through the whole 9 yards. And the children at church love it. I mean, I even have like the little 3-year-olds with their little cupcakes and cookies. Tell them your name. Say thank you and please.
I love that. Listen, so the theme of what we're talking about here is that you're never too young, right? So that's what's really coming across to me, which we all already know. But if you're listening, if you're watching us, it's really important that you connect and that it resonates with you, the idea of you're never too young. So if you have children at home and you're going out and you're doing whatever you do and however you show up in the world, like I said before, start bringing them with you. There's no reason why our kids can't be great right alongside of us, why we can't be great with our children right alongside of us. We really need to move past the idea that the kids stay home. When I said this before, that when I remember when I was little, the whole thing was kids are meant to be seen and not heard. No, they have an opinion. They have an opinion. Like we're talking about respectfully, right? So everything I say, take it with, assuming we're talking about being respectful and, honoring your elders and all those things. So of course, some things are not appropriate, but I do believe the more we include them and the more transparent we are with the way life really is, the easier to be for them to show up in the world great themselves, for them to implement, for them to learn how the world really works, instead of us treating them like they're babies and just assume, you don't need to learn that now. You don't have to worry about that. Just be a kid. They can be a kid, but also understand and have that balance of what the world is really like, So I think that's really, really important. So, Dr. Jasmine, I'm wondering, in your experience, tell me a little bit first before I jump there. I'm all over the place. I have so many things I want to ask you. What's your day-to-day like? So what's it like for me being a mom and all the other moms that are listening thinking, wow, you're a doctor, a medical doctor. Like, what is that like? And you have 2 young kids. Like, how does that like, we watch what do we watch? Grey's Anatomy and all these, forgive me, all this TV stuff we see. And we're thinking like, that's impossible. It's either that you be Dr. Jasmine or you be a mom, or you just be a mom and go get a regular job. You can't be amazing and really, be a superstar in your own right in your profession while you're actually parenting well. What do you have to say to that?
Yes. Woo, man, we need a whole show just for that topic. But that's a really good question. So, there's different stages to your medical training, and some are harder than others when it comes to young kids. So I had my son during my senior year in college, and then I had my daughter during second year of medical school. So when you're in medical school, it's hard because you have a lot of studying to do. And then you're working different clinicals, but in general, your hours are still like daytime hours and you kind of choose your own study time. So it's pretty flexible. But then when you go to residency, what that is after you do medical school, you decide which type of doctor you want to be. And it's kind of like boot camp for 3 to 5 years where you really dig in and learn that particular field. So I chose pediatrics. And when you're a resident, they have a rule where they can't make you work more than 80 hours per week. So even with that, that's still crazy. So you're working like overnight, night shifts, day shifts. One time I worked a 21-day stretch. It was really, really hard. I just graduated from that last year. So it definitely was difficult. And it was times where I felt like I was a horrible mom. I wasn't matching up their socks every day, or they might not have had the perfect bedtime. It kind of felt a little crazy, but I had to remind myself that the sacrifices that I'm making now is really going to pay off for the future. And I had a good support system as well. Now my schedule is not as crazy because I saw coming up some of the other doctors who would be just working hundreds of hours a week, burnt out, suicidal, depressed. And I was like, I can't have that life for myself. So the road that I kind of chose was a more flexible type of life where I kind of work only, maybe 9 to 5 and it varies. So it's not too bad. What is hard is working with kids. I work with babies and do newborn nursery deliveries. So like if babies die or there's a bad outcome, it's sometimes hard to come home with that emotional baggage and be a parent as well. But just having that strong support system is helpful. And then finding ways my long-term goal is creating multiple streams of income so that I won't have to just depend on, working as a doctor, slaving my hours away. That's why I have a lot of different side businesses and side hustles that I'm slowly building up so that will sustain me. And then I'll eventually just be able to work part-time as a doctor.
I love it. I love that. So listen, this is great. So you're listening to Dr. Jasmine tell us that she is building side hustles. Seriously.
Oh, yes. That was my first book, a collaboration book called Multiple Streams of Income. That was my very first book. So that's a topic I'm very passionate about.
Yeah. So you said it. So books, tell us about these books, because I'm just like, and the reason why it's so amazing to me is because we're talking about our kids, right? And you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a this, or that, right? And they think, and so a lot of people, even adults, if I could just get to.
Right. That's what I used to think.
Right, where some people are just, they're waiting to get to, or they're struggling to get to, and then their plan is just to sit and be done. You know, and the idea that you're like, oh, I'm working on creating this, and I got the kids at home, and you said they can't make you work more than 80 hours a week.
That was in residency.
I know, but that's crazy. Just the idea of that just reading that on the description of the program, some people would have been like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to go do something else. So tell us about your books, Dr. Jasmine.
Yes. So I just became an author last year. So this is around my 1-year anniversary. Is my first one.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a collaboration book called Multiple Streams of Income. And it was authors from all over the United States. Entrepreneurs from all over the United States that came together and talked about our particular fields, how we got started and how others can too. So I talked about how I got started in real estate investing as a means of financial security, and why, from a medical perspective, having secure finances and combating poverty is so important. So that was awesome. And that kind of launched me into the world of book writing and more of speaking. The year, I did another collab book called She Comes. Was in Atlanta. We all flew in together. This one was it was women who had overcome very, very hard times, from cancer, jail sentences, divorce, abuse, but were still able to overcome and reach their dreams. So that one's called She Conquered. And then the one that's coming out should be out in the next month or so. It's in the editing phases, and I'm having the cover design and stuff. It's called Beyond Beautiful. And this is my first solo one. And this is girls, and it's based on all the girls empowerment work that I do. I would like to do my little rap for you, so you'll understand where Beyond Beautiful comes from.
Let's do it.
Because this is what the book is about. Every chapter is based on these different powerful qualities. The book is called Beyond Beautiful, A Girl's Guide to Unlocking the Power of Inner Beauty, Self-Esteem, Resilience, and Courage. So here we go. This is a poem that I wrote, a declaration that I do every day to just, make it through. And then I turned it to a rap. Okay, so here we go. You got to imagine a beat, because I don't have my track.
Oh, wait, hold on. Julie said I need to beatbox?
We got a beat. Today will be a great day. I'll achieve all I set my mind to. I cannot stop. I can do anything I want to. Why? Because I'm beyond beautiful. Hey, I'm beyond beautiful. I'm courageous, I'm resilient, I'm confident, I'm creative. I am talented, intelligent, unique, and innovative. I'm worth it, I deserve it, I am treasured, I am loved. I deserve every blessing that is coming from above. I'm courageous, I'm resilient, I'm confident, I'm creative. I am talented, intelligent, unique, and innovative. I'm worth it, I deserve it, I am treasured, I am loved. I deserve every blessing that is coming from above. So today will be a great day. I'll achieve all I set my mind to. Hey!
Yay! I love it.
All right, now.
That was awesome. That's awesome. Please tell me there will be a video.
Yes, I'm working on it. But that's what the book is about. So
yes, that is awesome. That is awesome. I love it. So it has a catchy beat. We're talking about, so these are words, affirmations to uplift and to instill. It's awesome. Thank you. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That was fun. Lisa, I couldn't see you. We over there jamming?
I love to dance, so yes, I had my feet going.
I was like, go ahead. Okay, you heard it here first, everyone. Dr. Jasmine Zapata, the rapper.
So that's what my book is about.
Awesome. That is excellent. Thank you so much for giving us that little inside scoop. I appreciate that. So we're coming to the end of our show. I want you ladies to tell everyone that's watching and listening how they can get in touch with you, please. And Lisa, I really want to know a little bit more about your books as well, because I know you have this huge philanthropic endeavor and you're touching lives every day. So if you could tell us a little bit about that, I'd appreciate that. So that way we can, I want to make sure that the women that are listening, the moms, the parents in general that are listening will be able to connect with both of you ladies to really grow and to experience the things that you have to offer.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's just amazing that we had this opportunity. I text Dr. Zapata and I told her, I said, we were meant to connect because my book is called Just Who I Am, and it's I'm okay with the way I look. That's my first book.
I love it.
And one of the passages, my favorite one in there is called I Am Worthy. It says, I am worthy to be appreciated by others. I am worthy of living fearless through my dreams. I am worthy of living beyond my teen years. I am worthy of standing on the shoulders of those who have come before me to get to the place of today. I am worthy of saving myself for marriage because I am commanded to do so. I am worthy by using my mistakes as lessons and the door of a second chance. I am worthy of love, even if I have to learn what it means to be loved. I am worthy of forgiveness, even if the person I need to receive forgiveness from is me. My worthiness produces joy. I am worthy of excellence because mediocrity is outdated. I am worthy of a life of abundance. Settling is no longer an option.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's my favorite one. And then I have the Pit Bull of Puppy Love, which talks about healthy and unhealthy relationships. I write for our tween teens and young adults, and it talks about self-love. It talks about the nurturing of a parent or the lack thereof. It talks about being able to decipher good friends opposed to bad influences. It talks about teen sex, date rape, social media bullying.
Wow.
Goes into all of that. Domestic violence. So many of our teens are going through domestic violence right now. You have 13 and 14-year-olds who are getting beat up by their so-called mate when their real focus should be on something totally different.
Absolutely. Those are two powerful books and very, very necessary. We're talking about things that a lot of parents actually try to avoid. So if you're listening, if you're watching and you're raising teenagers, if you're raising girls, no matter what age they are, these are definitely all the books that were mentioned this evening. I feel like have a place in everybody's life because we're talking about the journey. What it's like to be a girl, what it's like to push through self-esteem and how to create goals and really just how to live in today's day and age and with the real world challenges and how to be resilient, how to feel empowered, how to be inspired, whether you're with the right crowd or the wrong crowd, how to overcome all these different things. So those are both excellent books. And I'm really, I'm like, wow, you read it. I'm over here like, I need to get that. I need that in my life. I need to have Xander read that.
Yeah. And the Pit Bull of Puppy Love is actually for both the girls and the boys because, believe it or not, our young men go through domestic violence too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's not talked about, but they go through it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that's very necessary. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you both for just being as amazing as you are, because we need more moms that are ready to push past everything that they have going on and just really say, because a lot of times you get to a point in your life, or some people get to a point in their life where it's like, it was just hard enough for me to get here, Let's hold on one second. I want to make sure that we get Dr. Jasmine in here. She said she's having trouble with hearing. So I want to make sure that I didn't do anything to kick her off. So she was able to, I still can't believe Dr. Jasmine did a rap for us. That's awesome. So anyways, yeah. So Lisa, can you tell those that are still listening and watching us how they can get in touch with you, please?
Sure. I'm on Facebook with Lisa Adams. I'm with the big poofy hair there. Shirt on said, courage over fear. You could also catch me on Twitter at Lisa Faithfully, Instagram, sowing seeds, watching the harvest. That's my motto there.
Okay.
Sowing seeds and watching the harvest. That's it. I just want to give what I can and watch you do whatever you're going to do with it. I want to see, as you was talking about the manifestation.
Yeah.
I love to see something I've said, or if it's something I've done to encourage you, to put a smile on someone's face. That makes my day.
That's beautiful.
It makes my day.
That's beautiful. I love that. So my last question for you, Lisa, for this evening is about legacy. So you have children, amazing children that are creative and doing some amazing things. And you also have a grandchild. What would you say they would say the legacy you are leaving for them is?
Keep going. Keep going. No matter what comes your way, you're going to have to learn how to be a boxer. You're going to bob and weave right on through it. You're going to have a determination like no other. You have no limitations. And this is what I say all the time to my children. Whatever it is they're trying to do, you can do it. How can I help?
How can I help? I love
How can I help?
That's beautiful. How can I help? And if we can just, even if that's just it, how can I help? How can I serve you?
How can I help?
I love that. That's powerful. That's powerful.
How can I help? Because they have their own journeys. And it doesn't always agree with what we want them to be, but we have to realize they're individuals. Right. And they're going to come into their own. And so, but how can I help you? I'm here to build you up. How can I help?
Right.
Sometimes all they want us to do is listen as they share.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lisa, for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen watching, I want to thank you for taking the time, working with us and pushing with us through all the technical difficulty of this Raising a Mogul TV show with Tamara Zantel. So Lisa told you how you can get in touch with her. Please connect with her. Check out those amazing books. We want to inspire our youth to keep going, keep pushing, and continue to do amazing things. You can connect with Dr. Jasmine Zapata at drjasminezapata.com. That's Okay, hold on. I just lost it. Lisa put our information. So it's drjasminezapata.com. I will put it in the description of the video once we edit everything and it's all ready to go, so you don't have to worry about that. And you can also connect with Lisa at lisa-d-adams.com and also www.thelisaadamsgroup.com. thelisaadamsgroup.com. Perfect. Thank you so much. That's amazing. So it has been my pleasure to share this time with all of you. And I thank you so much for joining us once again for Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel, where I bring to you the most amazing women in my community, the most amazing women that I come in contact with to you, so that they can share some nuggets, some inspiration, some motivation, and really some just truth. And what their experiences are like as they raise young moguls, as they mentor and they bring goodness into their community to help inspire kids that maybe don't have mentors or don't have parents that are doing and showing up the way that we are. So I thank you so much for joining us for another Raising a Mogul TV show and podcast with Tamara Zantel. I am your host, Tamara Zantel, and I help parents just like you gain the confidence, the knowledge, and the tools they need to raise their young moguls. You can connect with me on all things social media at Tamara Zantel or at tamarazantel.com. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Raising a Mogul with Tamara Zantel. If you've liked what you've heard today, be sure to check out other episodes at tamarazantel.com and join us in Raising a Mogul community at www.raisingamogultv.com. Looking for help on your manager journey? Does your child have a huge dream you want to support? Tamara can help. See you next time.